Happy Thursday, everyone. So today, agenda preview number 15. We're here at Soda Hair Inc. in glorious Walkerville. And I'm here to prepare you for two agendas. So on Monday, July 22nd at 6 o'clock is our regular council meeting. So that it's maybe a summer-like agenda, this one, but I still have to rush through it, going through two agendas for in 10 minutes, so I'll get right into it here. So item 7.2, there's an issue, front yard parking on an area in South Walkerville. This gentleman has been after us a while to allow us to pave his front yard. I'm still not in favor of it, but it's coming back to council. So that's item 7.2. 7.3, Assumption Park. That's a park, waterfront park right by Ambassador Bridge. You might know it, those steps that go into the water. So there's some concerns there about the fast-moving Detroit River, the high water levels, and it's about protecting people from falling into that. So there's issues there that I'm not all that fancy about, but we'll see what the discussion's like. So item 7.4, which is a long reach one, that's the 2020 proposed budget process and timeline. So as everyone knows, we do an annual budget. It's about $1 billion budget between operating and capital budget, and this is basically outlining the time frame for how we move forward with the budget ward meetings, which are traditional budget public sessions, that type of thing. So read up on that if you care about the budget. I know a lot of you do. Okay, so moving on to item 8 is the consent agenda. So item 8.1 is the approval to execute hosting agreements. So a while ago we approved the hotel tax, quote unquote hotel tax. Well, we put it into a delegation of authority to let the CAO basically determine everything. And so now he wants to adjust that a little bit. So there's going to be lots of questions about this, so I'm sure it's not going to stay on consent. Same with 8.2, Banwell Road Capital Program, $6.5 million in asphalt. And we're pulling forward money from 2025. We're reallocating money from the Lozon Parkway extension. So I'm sure that's not going to stay on consent either. I have lots of questions. I'm sure you know how much I love roads. Okay, and then moving into item 8.3, we've discussed it before. It's infill development incentives. It's creating workshops to try to make you or your buddy into a small-time developers, real estate developers. We want to create workshops to help you develop a lot of the infill properties we have within the city. So a lot of the other stuff, the Solid Waste Authority annual report, you heard me talk about the Transit Windsor Service Delivery Review, which we talked about earlier on. That's coming for council approval. The Windsor Essex County Environment Committee, tree planting on airport lands, the minutes of a bunch of other smaller committees that we have talked about. Of note, for those of you living out in the West End, Transit Windsor route changes for the West End Transit Terminal. That's coming for council approval. We discussed it before, but this is your final chance to actually come and have your say, so be sure to be there for that. So moving through a lot of the other minutes of meetings and into items, the new items. So basically the one new item, it's the one I want to hear directly from you. So this is big. This is this thing. It's the Active Transportation Master Plan. It's the thing we've been working on for a year now. It's a big document, as you can see. I really need you to go online and read this, because I want to hear back from you what you think the strengths, the weaknesses are in this plan. Obviously, I can't cover it now, but I want to hear from you on this thing. So read through it. It's skim through it, let me know what you think, and let me know. Email me directly, because I want to be your voice around the council table for this Active Transportation Master Plan, because we'll have one shot at this in our lifetime, in our generation. So that is council meeting on Monday at 6 o'clock. Below is the agenda, links to the agenda. You can't make it, the live link is there as well. So the following Wednesday on July 24th is the Environment, Transportation, Public Safety Standing Committee. So this is at 4:30 in council chambers. Again, agenda, live link, and everything below. Traditionally, much shorter meetings. We've got the minutes of the Windsor Bicycling Committee, the Town and Gown Committee, the Transit Windsor Advisory Committee. Those things are all coming. So these we have these auxiliary committees and boards. They report to this standing committee. If you're interested in seeing what happens at these committees, the links are below for the minutes of what's happening. happening there. Item 7.5 is from the Windsor-Essex County Environment Committee. It's on the temporary road closure of the Ojibwe Prairie Complex. So what a lot of activists are really after is the temporary closure of Matchett and Malden Road during mating season. So there's a lot of species at risk that die on those two roads. So the committee, the Environment Committee, has made a recommendation to the Standing Committee to recommend to Council, I know it's a big ladder, that we close those roads for 8 weeks in the fall. So then we move into administrative matters. We've got a project closeout report on the streetwide LED. Back in 2013, we approved a multi-million-dollar project to replace all the street lights with LEDs. It turns out that there was like 62% energy savings, and then the payback for that huge expenditure is like 7.5 years. It's going to be paid back in 2024. So which is pretty impressive. And then it looks like item 8.3. There's a free accessible parking pilot project. So administration doesn't like it. They're actually recommending not to proceed with this, but they said in case council does, because it's in response to a council question, all the things are there. So that's for accessible parking for those of you that have the handicapped or the family members that have the handicap thing. And then you get into transport items. These are pretty dry. Portability of post-retirement benefits for Transit Windsor and the Corporation City of Windsor. And then we're tabling item 8.2 is a Transit Windsor fare structure review. We are going to take a deep dive into how you pay, what you pay when you board the Transit Windsor bus. And that, with the Transit Service Delivery Review, there's going to be a big shake-up in Transit Windsor. So if you're into that, take a look at that. So, and then the Transit Windsor University of Windsor UPass agreement, it's going permanent in September of 2019. It's an amazing things, done amazing things for the transit system. And then a couple other more bureaucratical stuff. So there you have it. Two committee meetings next week. Invite you to play a part. Get in here and let us know, because it's your city. So we want you informed and get engaged. So thanks for checking in. Thanks for tuning in.